we knew that there's something happening in South Africa. And given our past coming out of apartheid and the deep rifts in society and the mistrust in people, what started changing over the course of 6 weeks culminated in that final day. But it was the weeks after, the months after, the years after that one realized how big it was. So I'm quite fortunate that we didn't understand what was happening in the country fully, because maybe the pressure would have been so intense that it might have affected us. As it turned out, one of the most amazing moments in my life was to stand on the platform with one of the greatest leaders the world has ever seen. And the smile on his face, the words that we spoke, they're actually trying to sort that out. And there's one of the Ivy Leagues is doing a thesis on this, because we said exactly the same words to one another. Wow. Because Mr. Mandela said to me, "Thank you, François, for what you've done for the country." And I said to him, "Thank you, Mr. Mandela, for what you've done for the country." So exactly the same. I wished I hugged him. I said this many times, but it was protocol. And it changed my life. It definitely changed our lives. And South Africa became a nation that there was hope.
Yeah. And you became close. I mean, he was godson to your two children as well. You went to your wedding.
That's why it's so special, because it was after the World Cup.
Okay.
You know, before the World Cup, we've met a couple of times. You know, he invited me to tea after he became president. But it was after the World Cup where the communication lines kept going. And as you said, when we were at the Union Buildings to celebrate, we were about 2,000 people there, Keith, and having some wine. And I didn't sit at the top table. I sat with my wife, and I explained that to him. So he then walked over as he was leaving, and he came over to Noreen, and he took her hand. He said to her, "Noreen, will you feel offended if I come to your wedding?" So it's like, I mean, she just melted in his hand.
So he invited himself. Well, that's the way to do it, isn't it? I tell you, that's when you know you've got power. How did you feel then? Because you, of course, played, Matt Damon played you in the film Invictus as well. I gather you wanted Brad Pitt. You felt he was a little bit more kin, but that...
I thought I was sitting with Matt Damon this morning. I'm really disappointed, you know.
I'd be interested. Well, you had always Uncle Fester.
Uncle Fester would pay me.
The Addams Family, for people who don't know that, of course. But that was, like, to have a movie made about it is again, a moment of history, and it kind of brings it through the ages.
But it's weird. It's weird for me, you know, because when you live through all of this and then you see that they're trying to explain to the American people rugby, which I don't think rugby scenes didn't come out that well. But in the end, what happened in South Africa, because of Mr. Mandela, was just tremendous. A leader that was in jail for 27 years came out with forgiveness and with hope and to build. And to wear the Springbok, where the ANC wanted to take the Springbok away, and he realized that the Springbok emblem and rugby for our nation is so important.